Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into the Financial Investor channel. My name is Brent, and today we're going to be doing our stock market weekly recap for June 24th through the 28th, 2019. It was the very last week of June. We're going into July now, so we're going to be doing our 1 week recap. We're also going to be doing our 1 month recap for M1 Finance, and I thought it would be kind of a cool upcoming video to cover what is our return year to date. The markets have been very volatile, up high, up high. It goes down in May, rebounds in June, and here we are in July with trade talks going on right now on Saturday, which is going to affect the markets here in the future. So with that said, we're going to be covering last week's changes, which are up on the screen currently. We're going to go over the four main indexes. We're going to take a look at stock futures looking positive as they announced trade talk is being discussed between the U.S. and China, and we're going to be taking a look at the entire S&P 500 changes for the week, go over financials, home builders, oil, silver, dollar, gold, bonds, and mortgage rates. So that is what we're going to be discussing in today's video. If you are brand new to the channel, hit that subscribe button below. I cover the stock market, dividends, real estate, personal finance. If you're interested in any of those topics, hit that subscribe. We are almost at 3,000 subscribers, so I want to thank every single one of you. And if you do enjoy this video, find it helpful, hit the thumbs up. And if you have any questions, drop them into the comment section below, and let's go ahead and get into the video. So last week, very positive week. Between the 17th and the 21st, 2019 here, I post these over on Instagram and I share them over on Facebook. So the S&P 500 was up 2.2% last week. The Dow 2.41. The NASDAQ was up 3.01, really getting helped out by the semiconductors kind of rebounding. And then my portfolio was up 1.57. So I've been kind of dragging these last few weeks here. Now, kind of going into the S&P 500 this week, a 5-day change for the week. Now going into this week, we didn't really have a lot kind of going on. The Fed came out last week saying that they weren't going to be raising rates, they weren't going to be decreasing rates, but they have their mind open that in the future we will see, depending on how the economy goes, we will kind of proceed from there. And besides that, everyone was really kind of off the trigger going into the G20 summit, which began here, and it's going to be going on Saturday. Is the main discussion that a lot of investors are looking for, which is the trade talk between the U.S. and China. So this week, pretty much flat, down 0.29% for the S&P. Year to date, still up 17.35. Dow Jones basically down a bit, almost 0.5% there, down 0.45. Year to date, still in last place, up 14.03. The NASDAQ this week down 0.32, up year to date 20.66. The NASDAQ is currently the winner this year in as far as year to date goes, and the Russell this week came in first place. This is the only positive index that I've tracked here for the four main ones. This is up 5-day change 1.09%. Year to date puts this one, I believe, in second. Oh no, it's still in third place at 16.17. So NASDAQ is in first, S&P is slightly behind there in second, the Russell is in third, and the Dow Jones is in last place, in fourth place. Now stock futures are all looking positive. I've seen a couple articles out there that the trade talk is back on between the U.S. and China, and that here is probably what is pushing these markets higher. So up on Monday, we're probably going to see a bound forward going into next week. We may have a continuation. We took a break this week. That is fine. We went up 1.5 to 3% in the indexes just a week prior, and we have to take a bit of a cool, that's completely fine. Just take a breath, and then we'll continue forward with what news is presented in the following week. So I think it's good. We're going to go into a pretty strong July. So some of the most active stocks here in the after hours. I saw this one here. Some of the what's moving after hours. Cardinal Health up 3.84. That's one of my holdings there. And Tiffany, a few others. Really nothing there that I follow. Cisco in the after hours up 0.38. Comcast up 0.52. We have Oracle, Merck. Banks, financials did really crazy on Friday, bounding higher, kind of boosting the market on Friday. This is because there was a They were doing some testing, and they said they gave the green light to the financial institutions to say, guess what? You guys look to have performed where you need to be. You can go ahead and perform your stock buybacks. So a lot of the stocks have announced that they're going to be performing stock buybacks, which is going to be basically increasing their earnings per share and just making them look a lot better. So that is what really helped out the financials. You can see that Bank of America at 0.10. We had, I thought we had another financial in here, but we can see Activision Blizzard 0.04 up. Walt Disney continuing their trend higher at 0.09, and a few others. Basically kind of green. We're looking very green here in the after hours. Stock futures are up in the after hours. So I believe kind of going into next week, you can expect to probably have another positive day. AbbVie did a huge jump, having lost 16% on their announcement of merging with, what was the other company there? I can't think of the name right off the top. I know it starts with another. I'm not going to guess because I don't know the name currently. But AbbVie, as of its fall from 16%, it has bounded higher day after day. I know I posted over on Facebook that I bought some 50, 60 shares of AbbVie down in the $68 range, $68, $69 range. So I will continue to hold that. I look back at my past buying opportunity. Back in 2017, I bought AbbVie for $71, $72. So now here we are 2 years later. I'm getting another good opportunity to buy into a solid pharmaceutical company that will continue to chug higher. And we'll see here in the future where it'll kind of rest at and how the merger goes forward between AbbVie and the other company here. Now, across the board, financials, if you take a look here, this is Friday. Again, this is one of the strongest sectors here of the market on Friday. JP Morgan up 2.72, Wells Fargo up 2.23, Bank of America up 2.8, 2.76, basically everything there across the board, very positive in the financials, really helping boost up the market. You can see here that really financials has really pushed the market here towards the end of the day. We can see that for the most part, we started higher in the morning, we trended down. Midpoint, we basically hit there for midpoint. Activity kind of dropped off for the day, and then end of the day, just everything rebounded higher. Apple is down on Friday, slightly down 0.91%. Now, there was some news, I believe it was either Wednesday after hours or Thursday, where one of their major sort of their design developers, again, I'm not great on the names here. I read the news, but I don't always have the names. I don't know if I posted it over on Facebook or not, but I know that has affected Apple here, down 0.91%. Microsoft down slightly, Amazon down slightly. Overall, on Friday, there weren't any big sectors that were down hard. Every sector out there was either 50-50 or very positive. So 1 week performance here with the S&P 500. So we already know that we were down this week. What caused the market to kind of not perform as well? We can see some of the FANG companies here didn't really perform, didn't really help boost up the market. We were kind of waiting to see what played out this week. Are there going to be some trade talk? Is that back on the board? Yes, it's already started. So I believe going into next week, we can see a little bit of maybe the tech pick back up in the following week with the FANG here with Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Facebook there. Now, some of our weaker areas here we can see this week with healthcare. Basically across the board, healthcare is continuing to kind of on its decline. AbbVie, having lost 16% this week during the day, is actually only down for the week 7.69. We have Kelgain also down 6.04. We can see utilities. Utilities have been really high, in the overvalued area of the market, and they have begun to start to pull back. Also, real estate investment trusts, I noticed that a few of them have also continued to pull back over here and down in the REIT section. So we can see SPG down 2.64 across the week. Realty income, I've seen this one get popped up a lot in the dividend groups over on Facebook, in the Discord channels that I'm a part of. Everyone was mentioning that they are kind of eyeing realty income. I myself would probably not pick up realty income until it dropped into the $50 range. I have owned realty income in the past. It's not something, I'm going to jump on at this moment. I would really like to see them continue to fall a little bit further and kind of go from there. Nvidia up 8.22. So we will see how that all plays out. Financials basically positive here for Friday. We can see a lot of upwards there on Friday in the morning after they passed their test. They were given the green light for their buybacks. Up for the week 1.4%. Year to date up 15.87. Semiconductors. This is what helped the Nasdaq. We already saw the Nasdaq here didn't do so well over here, but as far as semiconductors go as a whole, they were up 3.39. Home builders also positive, up 1.42. As rates continue to kind of trend lower, I believe this is kind of what's helping the home builders section out there. We can see oil. Now, I wasn't tracking a whole lot of news for oil, so what I'm going to do is expand this up, and then you guys can go ahead and pause the video, read through what took place here with oil. They basically ended the week basically flat positive. So here, as we see, take a look at oil, they're basically flat after Wednesday. We had a huge gap up 2.42. Friday, another down. They decreased 2.12, and then basically kind of ended up flat, up 0.58% for the week. So kind of an interesting week there. They had a huge, what was it? I don't know what came out on Wednesday after hours of what took place there to kind of jumpstart that, but popped up higher. Dollar also stayed basically flat. From the start of the week, it was 9, I believe it was 18. So here we take a look at the start of the week. So 96.17 was basically the start of the week. We ended the week at 96.13. So really very flat for the week. Fed came out this week discussing that there is a possibility of them cutting rates in the future, but that they are not going to be cutting them as drastic as many investors as President Trump would like them to cut. I know everyone out there is looking at a possible cut of 0.5%, but as we've seen, Citibank, what was it, Marcus by Goldman Sachs and Ally Invest, they recently dropped their rates from 2.25 or 2.2 to Marcus now offering a 2.15, Ally Invest dropping from 2.2 to a 2.10. I believe this is sort of an early indicator that the Fed may drop rates here in the future. It's not going to be by 0.5. It may be by 0.25, somewhere within that range. And a lot of the institutions are already pre-planning by doing this now, that in the future here when the Fed decreases the rates, either at the end of July or end of August, financial institutions will not have to do anything with it. Silver down for the week, down 0.21. Year to date, still down 1.31. And gold for the week is actually positive 0.92. Basically almost up a whole percent there. We can see a spike here on Monday up 1.5%. Coming back down on Tuesday, basically not doing a whole lot here towards the end of the week. So a lot of early start there for gold. Bonds positive for the week up 0.36, and mortgage rates have continued to fall down by 5 basis points, going from 3.99 last week to now 3.94. Rates have been falling on their own. The Fed has not had to come out here and do anything with rates. Just a few weeks ago, we go over rates every single week here on the channel, and these rates, we've been kind of watching them fall from the 4.5 to 4.25 to now under 3% here for some of the mortgage started rates. I've seen some investors over in the Facebook groups who are in real estate getting into some real estate properties, not for themselves, or they're getting properties for themselves, but they're getting rates of 3.75, 3.25, which haven't been around in quite a while. It wasn't back in 2013 when I got my own home. I got a rate of 3.75. So now we have rates getting offered out there, back 6 years ago from today, where normally you wouldn't get any sort of rate lower than 4%, maybe even 5%, depending on where you were getting your mortgage at. So that is basically it for the financial news. Now, as far as some of the articles that I posted over on here on Facebook, now I've been kind of sharing a lot of information this week. So I do really like it when a lot of investors, whenever you guys out there, my viewers, subscribers, all those that are watching and interacting with these videos, I really like to receive those comments, questions in the videos. So if you have any question at all, you want to just say hello, drop it into the comment section. I had 31 sort of replies back and forth. A lot of, I like that, to interact with all of you all. Monday buys. I made my video kind of going over what stocks I was buying on Monday. We had a issue over on M1 Finance. I made a whole video covering what my issue was. I saw a lot of investors in the comments also having that same issue, so it's good that we were all having it, not just me. Now, I ended up buying Las Vegas Sands at $58.92. I'm not sure of the performance of Las Vegas Sands here for the week, but I'll check it here in a little bit as I do my 1 month recap. That'll be a part. Now, I invested $124.11. This one starting yield fairly high, and it increased my dividend income by $6.49 there. So I made that whole little video there along with what stocks paid out dividends. I made $8.73. Avi, here's the announcement. They had their agreement with Allergan, ticker symbol AGM, at a $63 billion deal, and that caused them to fall 15% on the news and then continue to fall an additional 1%, going down 16% in a day. So President Trump, President Powell, or one of the president of the Fed, Powell, came out, pointed out that they may cut rates in the future, but it won't be what investors and what the market is currently looking like. I went out there. I've been writing some new articles for my website. I am looking to create reviews of the Robinhood app, of the Webull app, of the M1 Finance app, and a few other platforms that I have been using myself. I'm not just going to put out there a review of a platform that I don't actually use myself. I use Robinhood, I use Webull, I use M1 Finance. I'm not going to go out there and say that I've done a review on a platform that I don't actually actively use. I have firsthand experience using M1 Finance for the past year. I actively invest in it every single week, every single month for the past year and a half. And I'm not going to come out and just make a video covering a review of a product or a service that I don't actually actively use. So that is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be posting these over my Facebook, on my website, and then sharing them over on my Facebook group. So media is here to scare you. So on, what was it? Was it Tuesday, June 25th? That was on Tuesday. So, media is out here to scare you. They want you to sell your shares. When the market falls hard, they really want you amped up, scared to sell, because, they always know over the long term, they have these headlines that are just designed to just get under your skin and make your emotions kind of get the better of you. So Apple made some announcement here. Apple actually came out Tuesday after hours as well, saying that they have made an offer to buy the self-driving startup Drive.ai. They recently were closing a lot of their doors. They were beginning to do their layoffs. Apple came in, swooped up, and got them. So that's kind of interesting to see Apple go that way. Bitcoin hit its year high on Tuesday, I believe. They broke 13,000. We can see here in the screenshot. They had broken $13,351.21. I have very little Bitcoin myself. I have nearly $200 here in the screenshot. I have never bought Bitcoin myself. I mined it using my computer, and I have done referrals as far as Coinbase, because I think it's interesting to sign up. You get free $10 just for signing up. I've done that. I've seen other speculators. I wouldn't call them investors, because you don't invest in it. There's no way to perceive what Bitcoin is worth. You could basically write a whole bunch of sticky notes, put them on the wall, throw a dart, and that is what Bitcoin could be worth. There's no way to give it value, but it's still nice to just own a piece of it, knowing that in the future you're just a part of the whole. You're just a part of it. So let's see here. M1 Finance fan there. So on their page, I became one of their top fans just because I do post quite a bit over on their page, just helping out with other posts, saying hello, sign up for Wealthfront. So as you know, Ally and Marcus both decreased rates this month. Just on Friday, they came out decreasing their rates. Now, I have been looking for another high yield savings account. Now, I saw Graham Stephan come out with a video today who had used Ally Invest. I had used Marcus. They decreased it from 2.25 to 2.15. I have been looking at Wealthfront offering a 2.57. That is a pretty good difference. That is a difference of 0.27%. Now, on paper, it may not seem like a whole lot, but in between deals on my real estate business, I have cash that I don't have invested in the stock market. That sort of cash can make a much difference. It can make a sizable difference between 0.27 for my sort of cash is sitting in the account. If it's going to sit somewhere, I don't want it sitting in a low yielding account. I'm going to try and get the best bang for my buck. So I have opened up Wealthfront. I've actually set it up quite nicely where I automated all my, sort of inputted all my other brokerages into there. I can track my net worth. I can see all of my thrift savings plan, my wife's Roth 401k, my Roth 401k, my Merrill Edge account, my Robinhood account. The only broker I could not get to sync inside there is Webull. That is the only platform that did not show up inside there. Here is my buy for Avi. I went out there, I took a look at when I was using Robinhood back in 2017. I had bought Avi at $71 and $72, and here I was today buying up Avi at $69.95. Okay, I thought I bought up more shares. I only bought 28 shares there, so that position was already up. Plus, it had another gain here on Friday of some 3%. So that position is doing really well here in the short term. We'll see how that one plays out. I've already owned Avi. I've owned Avi since back in 2017. I bought it in 2017. I transferred over to Merrill. I have bought it over on M1 Finances. Not a stock that I'm not familiar with. It's just one of those companies. I have been invested for the long term. I've owned it now for maybe 2.5 years. So it has been quite a long buy and hold. Now, only one more trading day of June, so are you ready to sort of plan your goals for July? I'm not sure if you guys are out there making goals for yourself, what you're going to be doing on a week-by-week basis, on a month basis for July. But if you do have any goals you would like to share, drop them into the comment section. I would like to see what everyone is sort of up to. I see a couple other viewers, members here of the Facebook group that follow along have sort of written down some engagement there, so I thought that's nice. So here's my little spiel about Marcus decreasing their rate from 2.25 to 2.15. I think this is a flag of an indicator showing, it's an early indicator of what is to come by the Fed here in the future. Financial institutions, they already know what's going to go on. So I made my video here with Wealthfront. So here is the screenshot. I signed up for Wealthfront on Wednesday. I deposited $100. My actual transfer completed here on Friday. They have a very nice interface. It gives you your current net worth. It gives you your average savings. I have an average savings rate with my account of 65%. That means that on a month-to-month basis over the past year, my savings rate has been that I save 65% of my income. So I think that's really great. I thought my actual savings rate was closer to about 50%, but this is actually, a little accurate, so that's great. I think it's great. And kind of continuing on there. So there's my video covering Wealthfront. If you haven't checked it out, I would highly suggest you guys go check it out. Leave it a thumbs up. I always appreciate all those thumbs up. And then the changes for this week. So here are the changes. So as you know, last week, June 24th was a positive week. So here's how I do my screenshots over on Instagram. Whenever we come out of a positive week, I will put green from when we're coming out of positive, and then I'll put red as we are going into negative. So this week, the S&P 500 was down 0.29. Here, it's the end of the month, EOM. The Dow Jones down 0.45. The NASDAQ down 0.32. My portfolio for the week is down 0.48%. So that is pretty much it. I pretty much covered every single thing that I want to have covered. I covered the 4 main indexes, the S&P 500 changes for the week. My Instagram, if you guys haven't followed me on Instagram, I have now hit 100 followers. I think that's exciting. Not a platform that I had been familiar with prior to really coming out here. My own personal platform, my own personal Instagram has very little activity. I had never actually used it until I started using it here for my channel. So I think it's really nice and interesting. You can get a lot of information out just in a screenshot, just in a video. So what I'm going to start doing is posting over on my Instagram my Monday buys. I'll post a sort of a snapshot like this showing what dividends paid out, what stocks I purchased, along with how much I've actually increased my dividends. And then I'll sort of have here on the side which stocks paid out dividends. Just a little bit of a text if you can't see it there in the video. And that is pretty much it for today's video. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I can see I'm at 25 minutes and I don't want to keep too much of your guys' time, but I want to thank you all for coming here, hanging out with me. If you did stay tuned to the very end, let me know, drop me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and of course, if you have not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button below, cover the stock market, dividends, real estate, I do it all. And thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.